county ambulance before asking, "Which Rodgers is that, junior or senior?" Betty replies, "Senior," and then hangs up the phone. She stands there for a moment. Wait a minute, she thinks. Mrs. Rodgers couldn't have fallen down the stairs. Trembling, Betty returns to the living room. She calls out to Mrs. Rodgers, but there's no response. Betty bends over and looks at the older woman more closely. Now she notices a pool of blood under Mrs. Rodgers' head. It begins to dawn on Betty. This was no accident. The sleepy town of Searcy, Arkansas, is in for the cruelest of awakenings. The town. In 1974, Searcy is the county seat of White County, located about 50 miles northeast of Arkansas's capital, Little Rock. It has the feel of a small town, but compared to other cities across the state, it's more mid-sized, with a population of around 10,000. Its citizens tend to be polite and friendly. They say hello as they pass each other, and they sprinkle plenty of yes sirs and yes ma'ams into their conversations. Two main roads bisect the town: Race Street, running east and west, and Main Street, running north and south. Near the point where these two streets intersect is Searcy's downtown, a bustling area with stores selling clothing, shoes, musical instruments, sporting goods, and hardware. There's also a beautiful century-old courthouse with a Confederate soldier statue on its lawn and a classic Art Deco-styled movie theater, the Rialto. Most folks here like to take things slowly. They enjoy local sports and visiting with friends. They attend church in droves on Sundays, mostly Church of Christ, Baptist, or Methodist, and they take good care of their homes and neighborhoods. There's a small Christian school, Harding College, on the south side of town, and a couple of hospitals, the older of which is named after its former owner, Dr. Porter Rodgers, Sr. When asked about Rodgers Hospital, many of the younger locals will say they were born there, and quite a few will add that they were delivered by Dr. Rodgers himself. The house. In 1925, a local constructor named Joe Knox designed and built a white colonial revival house at the junction of North Oak and East Race Streets in Searcy. The residence was located less than a quarter mile from the center of town. In the early 1940s, Dr. Porter Rodgers, Sr. purchased the home and moved into it with his wife, Fern, and their young son. Sometime later, Fern arranged for the addition of a columned portico in front and white brick fence, making it the most stately-looking dwelling in the city. It was the kind of place that caused passers-by to turn their heads and stare. In this beautiful home, Porter and Fern hold numerous social events and raise a son and daughter. They are Searcy royalty, and their stately two-story home is a constant reminder of the family's affluence and influence in the town. Part 1. The Murder. Porter and Fern. Porter Rodgers was born on May 6, 1904. He and his two younger sisters grew up on their family's farm in Cleveland County, Arkansas. In his early years, Porter developed a strong work ethic. He longed to make something of himself, and with some financial help from an uncle, Porter set out to do just that. He attended Hendrix College in Conway and then Arkansas Medical School in Little Rock, receiving his medical license in June of 1929. After interning at a hospital in Detroit, Michigan, Porter came back to Arkansas to practice medicine in Searcy. It wasn't too long before Porter married a distinguished young woman from the area, Fern Cowen, who was 2 years his junior. The Cowen family had roots in Kensett, a town just east of Searcy, and owned a hotel. Fern had graduated with a speech degree from Galloway Women's College and had taught for a few years. The pairing of Dr. Porter Rodgers and Miss Fern Cowen, from outward appearances, seemed to be a good one. They married in 1932. As newlyweds, and with America a few years into the Great Depression, money was tight for the young couple. In order to make ends meet, Porter spent most of his days and evenings